Hey review family, keep it tight. My name is Daemon, the review guy, reviewing music for the love of music, and I'm back again to bring you another video. And in this one I'm going to be covering the Mayhem record entitled Daemon. Mayhem is 6 albums and well over 3 decades into their own career, and at this point, their sound isn't just essential, it's not just a blueprint, but it is to be expected, and I kind of glazed over this record when it first released primarily because of that. The riffage is demented and wicked, and the wails are fierce to listen to, chilling. Mayhem has always paid a lot of mind to making sure that their melodies sound devilish, sound rough, the recording is very rigid, I would even say a little bit more rigid than what you got on Esoteric Warfare. But I just can't help but feel this level of familiarity in this record. And I'm not dissing this band whatsoever. When it comes to classic black metal, I wholeheartedly believe that Mayhem is the best black metal band that is still doing the style justice without really tweaking with their sound all too much. I mean, they've always had an avant-garde streak to them, but you know what I mean. Both The Dying False King as well as Agenda Ignis begin with fairly indistinguishable blast beats that are played at the same pattern. Besides the occasional riff that pops on these 2 tracks, it just feels like what they've done in the prior releases, and even more recently, just with a little bit more comfort. And trust me, I don't want to undersell that concept. Whether they're churning out a hearty blast beat, or whether they're going into more of a sludgy, slower section, or with some keen bass work like on the track Agenda Ignis. Because Necro Butcher is one of the best bassists in all of black metal. But that's pretty known, everyone knows that. Or when Void's vocals just go completely haywire, either layering to a disgusting effect, screaming out in this dungeon fashion, or just generally having some growls thrown in there. And I don't want to act like this album doesn't have its dynamics. Each of these tracks have Mayhem stapled to them. They all have Mayhem's fingerprint on it. I just don't know if I'm as head over heels from start to finish as many people are. And also, that being said, some of these tracks do reek of that avant-garde tendency, that streak that Mayhem has had on some of their more recent releases more than ever before. Case in point, the track Aeon Daemonium, one of the most massive black metal tracks that I've heard this whole year. The instrumental towers in this intro, the building gigantic drums alongside that effective guitar melody, really simple but effective guitar melody, reminds me a lot of From Whom the Bell Tolls by Metallica. It's that level of massive build-up. And black metal is notorious for its build-ups, especially in some of the more atmospheric subgenres of black metal, but Mayhem just serves it up so bulky on this track. Alternatively, you have a track like Worthless Abominations Destroyed, which immediately gives me a wake-up call to some of the weaker sections on this track listing. It might be fast, it might be loud, it might have glacial riffs, it might have colossal drums, it might have alarmingly disturbing vocals on paper, but this is Mayhem's bread and butter. This is them doing what they do best. They are doing Mayhem by the numbers, and that's kind of a good thing considering that they do perform the style with a lot of proficiency, so the fact they're able to come through with this level of consistency is very impressive for the band, especially after decade of being into their discography and being into their musical career, despite the fact that the lineup has been a little bit tumultuous over the years. At the end of the day, I find Daemon to be a record that is familiar. Not in a bad way, but familiar. Comparable to Esoteric Warfare, but pushing an even more classic sound. And in 2019, with the string of black gaze bands and overall atmospheric black metal bands, highly produced black metal bands, black and death metal bands, maybe this classic sound is what we need. Maybe that Mayhem is not ready to give up the torch yet. Maybe Mayhem is one of the only bands left that is doing the style justice. All of those things are valid, all of those things are true, and even though I'm not as crazy about this record as a lot of people are, you cannot discredit this album, and you definitely sure as hell can't discredit Mayhem for what they've done and the imprint they've left on the genre that they are still a part of and still fairly kicking ass in. I'm going to be giving this album a 7.5 out of 10. And that is a wrap. Have you heard this Mayhem record, Daemon? If you have, let me know in the comment section below what you thought about it. I would love to discuss the record with you. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to join the review family today. I'd love to have you here, and smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. You know who it is. My name is Jay Morse, the review guy, and I'm signing off saying farewell.